is Lisa James. I am a customer success consultant here at LexisNexis. Thank you so much for joining our webinar today on mastering Casebase. So Casebase being our Citator product, it's that dynamic document allowing those insights into the current treatment of a decision, along with the analytics relating to a case, all on that one page for quick and easy access. Now, Casebase is available if you're currently using Lexis Advance. It's available within that product, also within Lexis Plus, and that's what we will be conducting the webinar on today, because Casebase has had a number of exciting enhancements within Lexis Plus, including some features and filters that we'll be exploring today. So I will point out when those features are exclusive to Lexis Plus if you're still on Lexis Advance, but generally the objective of today's session is to be able to efficiently navigate those case-based documents as part of your research strategy. It will be an interactive session today, so in a sense of we'll be doing some polls, so please do be prepared to take part in some polls along the way. Take use of the webinar chat box and also ask any questions via the Q&A as well. So we'll be starting today in the Lexis Plus homepage, which you should be able to see on my main screen. So in the legal research portion of Lexis Plus, as you can see, and I'd like to start the session today just with a quick poll, really to discover how you might normally go about starting your case law research. So poll 1 on the screen now, where are you normally going in Lexis Plus to start your case law research? I should say if you're in advance, you can choose the relevant one in here as well. So we'll just leave that one on the screen for a moment and then we'll share those results. All right, so we can see the results here. Predominantly, people are using either the search bar or the advanced search forms to go and locate cases. So you do have a number of options available to pinpoint cases, whether that be through Lexis Advance or Lexis Plus. Some of those ones have just been picked up upon. We're not going to go into detail about searching for cases today, but we do have other sessions you can register for via the help menu within the platform that can assist you with search techniques and starting a case research task as well. But for today, we will start in the search bar and we'll be ensuring that the pre-search filter in here is selected to be AU cases. Because we already know the actual case we want to investigate further, we'll just go ahead and enter the citation into the search bar. So we're just going to paste that into here along with our brackets and click on that magnifying glass to run the search from here. So we're now in our case-based document and you can see that we are in our summary tab and we'll be taking a closer look at the structure as well as the contents of the case-based document, and this being the specific primary case that we are interested in today. Now, before we kind of jump into the content, we'll start by taking a look at the amber icon next to the case name. So just to the left of the case name. Now, some of you may be familiar with our traffic light system in Casebase. If you are, just throw a quick yes or a yes in the chat box would be fantastic to let me know that you have seen this before. This system is utilized throughout Lexis Advance. Thank you, everybody in the chat. As you can see, it's carried over into Lexis Plus as well. And this case-based signal system operates very much like the traffic light system on the road. So your reds and your ambers and your greens. So when we think about the case that we have on the screen in front of us, we can see we have this triangle amber icon. We should think of this light going up to an amber traffic light on the road. So generally approaching with caution, slowing down, we can think about this in a way that this would be the treatment of a decision as well. So if we hover over, we can see this indicates that this case has had a cautionary treatment. So that can be decisions that have been subsequently distinguished, explained, not followed, or varied. So we can see as well in Lexis Plus, if you hover over the icon, the tips are there and built in for you. Now, we might also see cases with a green icon or potentially a red one. and thinking again with the traffic light analogy, green being go or positive treatment, and your red meaning stop or your negative treatment. So over on the right-hand side, we have the case-based signal help in here. So I'll just load that one up onto the screen for you. So this will give you a rundown really of those signals that you can take a look through. So as we just saw with the case we're looking at today, cautionary treatment we have here. We have our positive treatment with the green plus icon and our negative treatment here as well. Now, just outside of the analogy, obviously, is our neutral treatment. So those decisions with that neutral or ambivalent treatment, so considered or explained. And then we also, you might see the citation symbol as well. So that's indicating that no treatment has been given and it's a citation only. So the signals are there really as a guide and a quick way initially when you're coming into a case to be able to see how that decision has been subsequently treated and how you might like to go and handle that case as part of your research task. Now, often it's probably an obvious choice to go and look at those cases that have had the positive treatment applied, thinking, yes, this is good law, it's been affirmed, it's been applied. However, there could possibly be times where we might start with a cautionary or a negative case. Is there anyone on the session today that maybe would actually go ahead? I can see a number of you are familiar with these signals. Would you go ahead and look at a cautionary or a negative treatment as part of your research? And again, just a quick yes or a no. And if you'd like to explain why, all good as well. I'm seeing lots of yeses in here. So for anyone that's unsure, and again, open to suggestions in the chat, generally we like to think of these case-based signals as an umbrella for an entire case. So it may overarch some different facts and issues. One area might be distinguished, others may not be. And so that's a good reason to look at, say, a cautionary treatment. So I can see a few comments in the chat there. We'd go and look at these to see if it's presently reliable, what the adverse position is as well. So yeah, if not everything was reversed, for example. So you might have a number of points in a case, only one point was reversed. You might want to go and really look into that as well, into some more detail. Maybe finding your cases that deal with opposition's line of questioning, trying to find examples of where that's being questioned or overruled. So there's a number of reasons why we might want to go and look at cases beyond just those which have had the positive treatment as well. So I can see a quick question as well. Is there a quick way to see what the basis for the cautionary or negative treatment is? Absolutely. And when we kind of look a bit more into the case-based document, you'll see some examples of that as well. So I'll just close out of our case-based signal help. So that was just a quick note with the signals. Now we'll see in Lexis Plus the actual structure of the case-based document has very much changed. So we have this now tabbed design along the top of the page for that ease of navigation around your case-based document and to help pinpoint those relevant areas of research. Now, along the top, just keep an eye out for the arrow on the right-hand side to reveal some additional tabs in here. You may need to just zoom out if you are on a smaller screen to see all of those different options. But we're on the summary tab in CaseBase here at the moment. So on this main page, you can see we have our catchwords and digest. So in here, this is going to give you in bold those main areas of law being dealt with and provide that legal context of the case that we're looking at. So at a glance, we can easily see what this case is regarding. And then below that, we have the digest. So again, stating those legal issues considered and summarizing the decision of the court or the argument of the article as well. Now, before we jump into some of the other tabs, one important point to note is just we now do have the judgment text integrated within CaseBase. So if I click onto that judgment text, you can now access that here. That just avoids the need to be clicking on citations to go and see that medium neutral citation or switching to another window. So you can really focus on your research objectives, having both the full text judgment and the case-based document all within that single screen as well. So we can see on here, you've still got that functionality from the full judgment where you can actually look at the most cited paragraphs. and you can take a look through the entire content of the case in here as well. So that's just our judgment text. You can use the navigation down the side as well to find yourself, find your way around within the case-based document too. Now, I'm going to just jump back on over to our summary here. I can just see we have a number of questions coming through. I'll try to keep up with those too. Is the judgment text available in advance or just Lexis Plus? It's available in advance, but you do have to go to click on the citation link from within Casebase. It will then open it in a separate screen. So in Lexis Plus, it's integrated in here as well. So we'll move on to some of the other areas of the case-based document. So litigation history. Sometimes we might want to understand that prior and subsequent litigation history of a case. So in here, you can find that list of those cases listed in that reverse chronological order. We'll also be able to see in here some annotations as well. So where we might see, for example, here on this one, I can see affirmed and related. These annotations on cases indicate whether that primary case is an appeal, whether the primary case itself has been affirmed, varied, or reversed as well, and whether any judgments there that are part of the same litigation are available. So with these different annotations, the full explanations are also in your case-based signal help as well. But where it can get really interesting in terms of our pinpoint analysis with cases is into our cases referring to this case. So we'll spend a bit of time in here right now looking at cases that have a citing relationship with the primary case that we're looking at. So we can see there are 59 cases in total that have actually considered our primary judgment. And when we scroll down on this page here, we can see that list of those cases as well. Now, what we can see here too, so we're told the relationship of these cases to the case that we're looking at, but we can also see the treatment of those subsequent cases as well. For some cases, when we kind of look through, we're actually able to see with the citing relationships, the exact paragraph that was mentioned as well. And so we can see, for example, in this case, it was cited. We can see that this was actually cited in paragraph 14. And where you have that link, you can actually click and go through as well. So there's some really great visibility here over those citing relationships. Yet potentially one of those paragraphs was questioned or varied. Maybe it doesn't relate to my matter, but other paragraphs are good law. So we could feel confident in using this case as well as part of our task at hand. But if we go back up to the top, here, we're going to just take a bit of a deeper look at the paragraph tab. Now, again, this is present in Lexis Advanced, but in Lexis Plus, we do have some additional filters and functionality I'm going to be showing you today. So in terms of this graph, it can really help us identify the most interesting areas of the case and really guide you on where to start on your research. So treating this a bit like an X-ray into the decision, we can see the number of citing cases down that left-hand side, and we can see the paragraphs from our primary case along the bottom. Now, this particular functionality on the paragraph level, there is a scope for that. So in 1998, the paragraph level citations became standardized. If you don't see this graph on a case that you happen to be looking at, it's just because it's either before 1998 or it's from a court that's outside the scope of coverage. But you will always be able to see with the citing cases the way that a court has treated it, and you'll also be able to use the year to see how it's been treated over time as well. But let's focus on the paragraph view at the moment. So we can see we've got the 59 cases in total that have cited our primary case. But potentially, I just want to see the cited paragraphs only within the judgment. And I want to see now, which paragraphs have really been of interest. So I can see here, hovering on the graph, which is an interactive one, that there have been 6 cases that have specifically mentioned paragraph 6. And I can click on that bar on the graph to refine my list in here as well. So we're now, if we scroll down, looking at a list of cases that have specifically cited paragraph 6 of our primary case. And that can be really helpful because you can see potentially cases that don't fit your search terms, but because they have cited our primary case, then potentially they are relevant as well. So when we're coming down here, we can go ahead and expand any of the information. We can take a read through, and then we can quickly decide if we want to actually jump into the full case to really conduct that further research as well. So I'm going to just close off that filter at the moment for the paragraph. Now in here, we do also have the narrow by function. So in here, you can enter search terms and use this to really cut through all the reasons a judgment has been cited and see only the cases that are talking to a keyword of importance without having to limit it to that specific paragraph. So if I pop in some search terms in here, say, for example, I want to look up at corporate insolvency. I have added this into quotation marks because I only want that specific phrase, and I can narrow by those words here. Once this has been applied, I can now see where my keyword is highlighted across the judgment in green. And I can actually even go back into my paragraph 6, and I can actually see those cases that cite paragraph 6 and mention my keyword as well, which has narrowed me down to just 2 cases. So we've been able to really cut down our research very quickly in here. So I think you'll have seen that paragraph citation can be really good at giving you that depth of citing relationships between the cases and ultimately saving time from opening them all up, reading those individual cases, because we do have access to this all on the one page as well. So I'm just going to clear again my filters. Now, a couple of other options with your narrow by field as well. So in here, if you are potentially wanting to filter that case list and just see cases from a particular jurisdiction, if you enter the word jurisdiction and then you pop your state in brackets, what this is going to do is filter your list of citing cases that are just in the New South Wales jurisdiction. So you can see here, we can see these cases, New South Wales Supreme Court, for example, and so on. So it will filter that list accordingly. Again, I will clear that one off. That's just one quick. Another case, potentially we only want to see those citing cases presided over by a particular judge. We can again type judge in there and then in brackets the judge's name. So potentially I want to find all of those citing cases by Judge Gleeson. I can again filter that, and then that will have my list below accordingly. So I've now got my 7 cases as well. And then lastly, another functionality for you in the narrowing would be by catchwords. Now, I don't know if anyone on the session today has filtered by catchwords. I haven't given an example in this case, but you would just type catchwords and then in brackets enter your word of choice. This is going to be searching specifically in the head notes of a decision. So this could be relevant because obviously then you can capture those really overarching areas of law and of interest for your particular matter. So just having that catchwords, if you've used advanced search forms, you would be familiar with that as well, just looking across that head note content. So that's some of the narrowing function. Now in Lexis Plus, we've got a number of other options to narrow, and these are new exclusively within Lexis Plus. So you've got your narrow by court option. So in here, you can filter that again, that case list by the specific court that issued the decision, and it's got that full name of the court spelled out for clarity. You can also filter according to timeline. So potentially, if you want to focus on cases decided within a particular period, you can drag here or just enter the date range as well. And then finally, case-based treatment. So you can narrow down your your case list based on how those subsequent cases have treated the primary case. So you can see here, and this is also can help you understand how your primary case received that treatment. So in this one, for example, I can see there were 3 cautionary, 3 positive, and 55 neutral cases. I can actually go into more detail. So I can go into the cautionary treatment, and I can then see that 2 were distinguished and 1 was explained. I can also go into the positive, and I can click and filter to those ones as well. Now, if I really want to get into that kind of more granular level, I can kind of click onto, say, just my cautionary ones in here, and then I can, start to look through, seeing, yes, how they've been applied, what was distinguished, and again, we've got down really to that paragraph level where we can go and explore those particular areas and see if they're relevant as well. So hopefully some of these additional filters and functionalities will really help with additional insights into those citing relationships as well. Now, if I want potentially at this point, because we've just been mainly kind of looking at those citing relationships, I might want to actually drill down in my case list to ones that look around a particular legal issue. And we've also in here in Lexis Plus got some new legal issues filters. So you can see below here, we've got these green boxes on the screen. And they've been added to help you identify cases within the case list that do talk about a particular legal issue. Now, this is using our extractive research, our extractive AI, to identify all the legal issues in our primary case. And you can go ahead and apply these to filter your list as well. So I can click on, say, contract or promise. And what you can see is this actually works in conjunction with our court or our year view up here as well. So we've selected that, it's been applied, and I can now see all of those cases that mention contract or promise, for example. Now, you can apply multiple legal issues, just being aware that if you do apply additional ones, they will operate like an AND connector. So all of the cases must have both legal issues. So sometimes you may not get some results, so you may have gone too detailed. So yes, you can just click one or multiple in here. And as you go below, once you've applied those filters, you can see you're able to take a look at the relevant explanatory passages that those legal issues are mentioned in. You can also expand them to see, as needed, if the discussion is actually relevant and if you want, again, to proceed to reading that full text of the case as well. So I'll just collapse that one back here. So it's just our legal issues filters in here. And again, you can click around this graph to get into some more detail as well. Now I'm just going to clear that one off for the moment. And we're now going to just take a look. Again, we've looked at citing relationships. We filtered to specific legal issues. CaseBase is fantastic at giving all that discussion around a decision and how it was reached and your subsequent treatment. But at this point in time, we may need to move on a step in our research and widen our search somewhat. So we're going to run a second poll now just to ask, and this would be poll 2, how you would normally widen your search at this point to find additional decisions that are not in a citing relationship, but may consider some similar legal topics. So would you potentially go back to your original results list? Would you return to the homepage and search again? Or would you potentially adopt a different strategy? We'll just give that one moment for it to get some results. So if we can just share those results back, fantastic. Yeah, most have said it's a bit almost 50-50 today. Some of you would go back to your original search results list, or some of you would just go back to your homepage and search again, maybe potentially for that particular legal topic. Now, to save you some time, if you hadn't found this again, it was in Lexis Advanced, but it's now on a tab up the top within our case-based document is similar issues. So if you hover over, you can see what this will do is surface cases in here with similar facts, issues, or arguments to the judgment discussed in the case-based documents for your primary one as well. And this is not in a citing relationship. So this is using that kind of extractive AI functionality. It's existing for around 25% of our cases, but we do have around 680,000 cases in CaseBase, so it's a considerable part of our database. So you can take a look through. It will show you what those similarities are that it has looked at. You have the digest, and you can actually expand and read through as well. So this will help you decide, again, if those suggested cases are most relevant to your matter at hand. So if you haven't found similar issues, this can be a huge time saver. Go ahead and take a look. This can help you expand your searching, exploring that breadth and depth right here on the page alongside that case that you're looking at as well. All right, so that's the kind of core content that we wanted to take a look at around in CaseBase today. Now, there's a few other tabs to note for you as well. So publications referring to this case, you can come in here and see any publications considering the primary case. So if you have a subscription, you can access the full text of the article as well. I think Laura Surrey just asked, is that function in advance as well? Similar issues is, you just kind of have to scroll down on the page and it's on the right-hand side in there. It's just a bit less obvious than it is when it lives in our tabs within Lexis Plus as well. So your publications, if you've got the subscription, you can access the full text in here. You can take a look at any cases that have been considered by the case that you're looking at. So this can help, again, to understand any legal issues further, seeing how it's being considered, and the graph is interactive like you saw on the cases referring to this case. So again, you can click on any of these and it will filter your case list below as well. Now you'll see we also incorporate legislation considered by this case, and you can see we'll have links through to the relevant content in the LawNow platform as well. So lots of information and analytical insights to really delve into. That does conclude the general navigation around the key areas of a case-based document. Hopefully you've been able to see how you can use those relevant sections of the document for that pinpoint analysis. Now, at this point, again, with our research, I'm just going to head back to the summary. If this was a case potentially you were basing an argument on, it could be useful to set up an alert to keep you up to date on any changes or when subsequent judgments have considered that case. And just want to draw your attention to the top of the screen where you can see monitor consideration. So wherever you're seeing a bell icon, there's a shortcut to creating an alert in the system to really put Lexis Plus at work on your research tasks in the background. This is available in Lexis Advanced too. So you can click onto monitor consideration, which is next to your case name. And if you click into monitor, you can choose what you want to be alerted about. So it will find, for example, any or all parallel citations for this case, including those for reported versions, published after the creation of the alert. So you can go ahead and choose which one you would like to see. And then in terms of your delivery options, you can set those parameters, whether you'd like to be notified online only or by email and online. And then just a quick note with the frequency. So depending on your needs, and if this is a case that's currently getting lots of attention or it's potentially very highly cited, you may want to limit that to just a daily or potentially a weekly digest rather than choosing the as updates are available option. So at this point, we can just go ahead and create our alert. If you are working on this as part of a team, you do have share options and you can add alerts for colleagues as well. But I'll just go ahead and click on create. So that would just be the alerting. And just as well, at this point in your research within CaseBase, you might have got several tabs open. You might have gone off and looked at some different cases, done some further research to support your matter. You might want to collate this information together. Now, again, in the chat, maybe if we could just pop in there, how would you normally, I guess, extract the information from Lexis for your research task? Is anyone kind of downloading, emailing it to themselves, etc.? So we do have, I can see we've got download. Up the top right-hand side, you can easily download cases from here. You can email and you can print. I just wanted to showcase the folders functionality just because it does allow you to store and organize your searches, your documents, your notes, and alerts as well. The kind of real benefit of doing that obviously is that you can find your way back to it easily. And also, unlike your history, which is deleted after 90 days, the folders that you create here and anything that you store in them do remain. So you can go ahead and either save to an existing folder or create a new one. And again, we can save to an existing folder or just create a new one. So I might just call this one Coventry, which is my case name. Create. And then I can just go ahead and save. And again, you've got that sharing functionality if you wanted to as well. So if you do, as part of your case research, you've gone through all of that, you've set up some alerts and some folders. At the top here in Lexis Plus, you've got the 3 dots. So this is where you can come and view and modify your alerts. We also have the folders, so you can access, again, folders from in here. If you're in the Lexis Advanced platform, the folders and the alerts are within that kind of pod functionality in the main homepage. So beyond today's session, if you do need any further support or guidance, the question mark icon in the bottom right-hand corner has a number of support resources available to you. So in here, we have video and PDF guides for Casebase specifically, along with other products within our suite. We also have webinars, so full 1-hour webinars that will take you in a lot more detail around other areas of our platform, which you're welcome to self-register for as well. Now, finally, if you do have any research challenges or need support, we have live chat available. You can go through Contact Us, legal research assistant available to help you with any of your queries. So thank you very much for joining today. I'd like to just finish up with one poll before everyone runs off for today. Just to ask, so what case-based feature you're now excited to use more in your case research moving forward? So potentially, is it going to be that paragraph level citations, similar issues feature, using the legal issues filters, or maybe setting up the case alerts and the folders? So we'll just see what everyone's feedback is now. And then when we share that feedback, we'll also just circle back to any questions that we had. Fantastic. So I can see from the results there, we've got 25% looking at the paragraph level citation graph, 50% similar issues. That's fantastic. Yep. So definitely a really valuable function there. Legal issues filters, 13%, and your case alerts, 13%. So hopefully unlocked some great functionality there. So we can just open up to Q&A if there was anything outstanding. Otherwise, if you do need to drop off and head off to another meeting or session, thank you so much for your participation today, and we look forward to seeing you on another session soon. Kate, I can see in the Q&A, I'm sorry, you've asked if there's something in Lexis Advanced, but I can't actually see what you were asking about. So if you wanted to pop your question in there again, happy to answer that. And Kelly, I can see you're asking about unreported judgments. Yes, so if you're in Lexis Advanced and you're clicking through to the full text judgment, yes, you would need that unreported judgment subscription. I think that kind of recaps all the questions that we have had. As I mentioned, if you do need any further support, please do reach out. David, last question. So in the results list of a search, there are numbered results with a box you can select. What does this do and how can you use it? In the results list of a search. So if you mean that you're actually searching for a particular case, I can send you over some information about that functionality as well. All right, thanks, Brian. Excellent. Well, I think on that note, we will conclude the session. Thank you, everybody.